What?
Look into his eyes. They're the eyes of a man obsessed by sex. Eyes that mock our sacred institutions. Bedroom eyes, they call them in a bygone day. They're the eyes of a man whose lust knows no bounds.
Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Horny Creek. My name is Mark. With me as always is my wife, Carol. How you doing today, Carol?
Hey, what's up?
Not much. It's been a good week here. It's November 24th, 1999.
It is.
Guess who's coming to dinner, Carol? Everyone on the show.
Right. That is true. Yeah.
I'm surprised that, what's her name's corpse didn't show up to the...
Oh my God. Abby Morgan.
Yeah, Abby.
That's awful. You know who didn't come to dinner?
Andy's dad.
True. But I was thinking of Joey's sister's husband.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they didn't even give a reason he
dead.
wasn't there either. Like, at least they used to give reasons why he wasn't there. Now they're just like, okay, everybody's going to forget about him.
He's also just dead in the creek. Didn't he go to New York? Didn't he, like, last time we saw him, wasn't he on a boat to New York or something like that?
Something, I don't know.
They hit an iceberg.
No.
And he sunk. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. He's gone. At least we saw the baby briefly. It's weird. Every time we see Bessie, I'm like, what's going on? I feel like,
what is your life?
you know what I feel like? I feel like there's a separate show we're not watching called Bessie or whatever, Bessie's Creek, and it's like that's where all the information from what's going on with her love life and her new child or whatever's going on.
That would make
Her
sense.
husband's left her, and now she's like trying to balance having a weird sister and a new baby and trying to date. But it's a sitcom.
That would be a heck of a show.
Yeah.
So this is
Give it on it, Kevin Williamson.
So this is the Thanksgiving episode.
Yeah, what are you thankful for?
Everything this week has been a Thanksgiving episode.
I'm thankful for our audience.
Me too. Yeah. What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm trying to remember how it started. I have trouble with the remembering how it started. No.
The pilgrims were starving. And some Indians were like, we'll give you food if you don't massacre us and take over the entire land. And they were like, yeah, but they were crossing their fingers. So ended up being okay that we took it all. How the episode started?
Yeah.
The episode started, I believe, with Pacey and Jen talking about how every time he tries to fuck her, she laughs.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so they were shopping for Thanksgiving food.
They were shopping for creamed onions. What are creamed onions?
I have never heard of them, and that sounds awful. Yeah. Why would anybody eat something that's like
I've heard of creamed spinach.
Herring or something, like pickled herring.
Oh,
I mean, like it's stuff nobody eats but old people.
It's a Scandinavian thing. Pickled herring is Scandinavian.
I don't know. But yeah, they're shopping, and Pacey is constantly flirting with her and talking about like, hey, you know, when are we going to do the sex?
Ooh, you smell good.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm laughing every time you're pawing at me.
Yeah, so, like, my question is this. She suggested that they have sex.
Yeah. So
why would she do that if the idea of him touching her is hilarious?
Yeah, I thought it was very telling from a female, like how the female mind works perspective. When you said, we're watching the episode, and you're like, if you couldn't picture it, why did you suggest it, Jen? Like, okay, so anytime a woman suggests that, she's pictured the sex already. I got it.
Well, I mean, you have to be able to imagine that you would get naked with a person before you put yourself in a position to get naked with a person.
Yeah. So you pictured having sex with me before we had sex?
Of course.
Interesting.
Didn't you?
I don't know. I honestly don't know if I did or not.
Huh. That's weird.
I don't know that guys think that way. I know I thought about it before we had sex, but I don't know if I pictured it.
I guess there's a difference there.
Yeah.
But so they haven't had sex, and it's not seeming to be going in that direction.
They're not going to have sex.
They're just going to be friends, probably. And then Jen gets back to Grams' house with the groceries. And Grams is trying desperately to talk to her, to tell her something, and Jen is just talking over her and being super rude the whole time.
This is one of those frustrating things that happen in TV shows where one person's like, I have something to tell you, and the other person just guesses what that is and starts talking about things not related to it at all and won't let the person keeps trying to talk. It's like, that's not how real life works.
No.
It's annoying.
But Jen goes up to her room and discovers the surprise dinner guest, her mother.
Yeah. What'd you think?
I wasn't surprised.
No, you knew she was coming?
Yeah, I mean, I assumed it was going to be the mom.
I knew it was the mom because the previews for this were like, on a very special Dawson's Creek, Jen's mom shows up.
I don't like her mom.
No.
I mean, I guess we're not supposed to, but I mean, like, I feel like the actress sucks too.
No, actually, I think the actress is great.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
And I was thinking about this the entire time. For a minute, I agreed with you, and I was like, I think she's just a shitty actress. And then I realized what she was doing. She's like fucking... Because...
She was not fucking.
No, she was. Well, at one point she was. Well, that comes up. Because Jen's mom is written as this like austere, closed off, cold woman. I think she intentionally played her with as little inflection as possible and with as little facial expression as possible. You can see her holding all of her emotion back, and I think that's all purposely chosen by the actress. I actually think she did a really good job because she's very just like, you know, doing it as robotically as possible, but still trying to convey some emotion to it. And I think that was the decision she made. I don't know if it was the best decision necessarily, but as written, I can understand playing the character in that way.
Yeah, I can see that.
So the mom is there because the dad is waylaid in Europe on business. That both estranged dads in this show, Jen's dad and Andy and Jack's dad, are both somewhere on business.
Of course they are.
It's like they just use the same excuse in both places.
Well, and so is Brody, supposedly the husband for Bessie. Remember?
Oh yeah.
Some restaurant.
Fucking bro! How do you remember that his name?
I don't know. It just came to me.
Wow. Yeah. So's Dutch's dad or not Dutch. What the fuck is the kid's name in Dutch?
I don't know.
You know, Dutch with
You made me watch it.
Ed O'Neill. I made you watch it. It's planes, trains, and automobiles, but for future stepdad and stepson. Mm-hmm. That's what it is.
I mean, it's a fine movie, but I'm just saying it's not one that I have committed to memory.
Anyway, his dad was also
on business.
Yes, he was. But really having sex with some other woman.
Yeah.
Which is what I suspect Jen's dad is doing.
That's awful to not be with your family for the holidays because you're getting laid.
Yeah.
Terrible. But
yep. Well, that's, sex is evil.
Jen first tried to hide from her mom and went outside, and Grams had to be like, you gotta come in. You've been outside, Jennifer, for half an hour.
Yeah. Jen's grandmother is the only person in New England doing an actual New England accent. Now, Jennifer, you've got to come in now.
So Jen goes and talks to her mom a little. Mm-hmm. Her mom tries to give her her pearls.
Yeah.
And Jen's like, I can't accept them because where would I wear them?
Yeah. Her mom tries to give her a pearl necklace, and not the kind that Pacey's trying to give her.
No. Gross. Yeah, she's like, you're the one who taught me that if you don't wear your pearls, they lose their luster.
Mm-hmm. Fuck you.
So I guess you should keep
I could wear them in New York.
But, yeah. It was a pretty deep conversation with a lot of subtext.
Yeah, there's a lot of... It's weird because there's a lot of there's like 2 or 3 conversations of Jen and her mom that have subtext, and then at the end, Jen just flat out says the subtext. Mm-hmm. When she's like, "Oh, you didn't... I thought you hated me, but you didn't. If anyone, you hated yourself.
Yeah.
It's like, we got it. We understand.
I guess that we were supposed to think Jen didn't get it until the end. I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah. Well, I guess they think the audience isn't going to get it, I guess.
But everybody is coming to Jen's for Thanksgiving. The
Ryan house.
The Ryan house?
Yeah, that's their last name.
Jennifer Ryan, okay.
Jennifer Ryan and Grams Ryan. I believe her first name is Grams.
No, the Learys, both Dawson's mom and dad, because his mom apparently has moved into their house.
The guest house. That's more exposition.
The guest room. They don't have a guest house. Yeah, they're not that rich.
I'm sorry. That's more exposition we get at the beginning.
And his parents are getting along, and it's making him so mad.
Yeah, this is weird. Like, his parents are trying to be friendly and everything. His dad's watching football. His mom's cooking pies that look like shit, but everyone says they taste great or whatever.
The dad's like, oh yeah, that looks like the cover of a magazine to me. Like, Anyway.
At one point, he's like, check out your mom's pie. I'm like, ooh, not good. Not good phrasing.
Gross.
Mr. Leary.
So, yeah, they go to the Ryan house, and then Joey and her sister and the baby go, and Andy and her brother Jack go. So
everyone on the show, yes. We said that already.
We didn't. I mean, did we? I don't know.
Sorry. We did, yes.
Sorry.
And they had pie, and they had turkey, and they had stuffing.
Okay, enough. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know.
Well, I'm trying to you're just.
What are you trying? What are you trying to do?
No lifeline.
I don't know what you're trying to do. So anyway, I don't know. We can. Okay, let me ask you a question. How do you want to tackle this? Do you want to go storyline by storyline, or you want to go chronologically?
Storyline by storyline.
All right, so then let's finish Jen and her mom's storyline. Dawson, first of all, apparently Dawson told his mom at least about Eve, which is weird because she all of a sudden just knows about it. She's like, oh, fucking Jen's mom's probably back in town because of that. And it's like, why? Why would you think that?
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, how would she know? Like, do you think Eve found her? Because Eve said she hadn't found her yet or whatever. But anyway, so Dawson talks to Jen's mom and is like, hey, you fucking had a child and gave it up for adoption, and I met her. He
starts out like, tell me if I'm out of line. Like, dude, talking about this to her in any way is out of line. End of story right there. You're out of line.
Yeah, I guess.
But
he said he didn't want to. He wanted her to tell Jen. He didn't want to have to tell Jen.
Yeah, and he's like, so I think it'd be coming better from you. And then she's like, remember when you told me to tell you you're out of line? So, because she didn't want to tell Jen. She said there's no reason for her to know. Yeah,
I don't know. What do you think about that?
I don't know why it would hurt her. And I mean, she seemed fine. And she said it actually made her feel better because she does find out later.
Yeah.
So I don't know what her mom's concern in telling her was.
I think her mom's concern is that it would hurt her reputation, her mom's reputation.
Yeah, and that it would get back to her husband.
Yeah. I think that's her. Because apparently she's in a loveless, sexless marriage.
Yeah, that's sad.
Which is why her face is so stunning.
Yeah. So she's like not wanting to tell Jen at all, and Dawson's like, you better tell her. Mm-hmm. I don't know when what else goes on with her and her mom.
That's pretty much it. I mean, they have like so at one point Joey, because Joey's all sad about her mom being dead, Joey's like, you should fucking talk to her and give her a chance or whatever. And it's like, she says something too, like, everything she says I don't agree with. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if it was written to not agree with her or if the writers think that she's correct or whatever. But she's like, our parents don't ever really know us. They love us, but they don't know us. And I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's an arrogant teenage point of view of like, my parents don't really know me. I think your parents know you. Like, unless your parents are completely like just absentee parents.
Like Jen's mom doesn't know her.
Right. Yes, I agree. Jen's mom does not know her. But if your parents have any kind of active participation in your life at all, they know you pretty fucking well.
Right.
Maybe not 100%, because no one can really know anyone 100%.
Joey doesn't know anything because her parents are gone. I mean, like, her parents don't know her either. Her dad's in prison. Her mom's dead.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's her frame of reference is all askew.
Yeah. And then she's all like, but, she's like, she's here now, and she's here to see you. And it's like, how do you know that?
Yeah, she never said she was there to see Jen.
And I don't think she was.
No, she was there because she needed somewhere to have Thanksgiving.
I think she was there because I think she's terrified of being alone. Mm-hmm. I don't think she wants to be by herself ever. Which is another thing that they like flat out state in the episode that I don't like. I think every action that she takes says that, and it didn't need to be said, but whatever.
Yeah, and then at one point Jen says to her, "You're the most overtly selfish person I've ever met," which seems true also.
Yeah, I do believe that she's probably very selfish.
Because she sent Jen away.
And she also sent her other daughter away.
Yeah.
I mean, like, listen, if you're in a situation where, you don't want to have a baby or whatever, giving a baby up for adoption is not like abuse or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I'm saying it is telling for the character that the character gave up the first child that she had and also gave up the second child that she had.
Yeah, and both times because of her reputation, most likely.
Yeah. Yeah.
So...
Because when she says, when Jen finally has a big confrontation with her mom and is like, just fucking leave him. Just divorce him. She's like, no, because, one, she'll end up alone. And two, she's like, you know what happens to women my age that are 40 or whatever, fucking ancient, that get divorced? They don't get invited to parties anymore. They don't get invited to the social circles and stuff anymore. You just disappear. And it's like, that's all that's important. That's all that matters to her is that kind of shit.
Awful way to live your life.
Yeah. So that's why she did everything that she did. Mm-hmm. Why she gave up it's all about appearance for her.
And for some reason, all this information makes Jen feel better. I don't understand why. Because,
there's some weird thing. Pacey says something, too, where it's like, when you realize that your parents are just people and they have flaws and they're way more fucked up than you ever could be or whatever, it's kind of liberating, I guess.
Yeah.
Is what he says, and I think that's what it is. He's like, there's no energy to despise them for being people anymore, But I think it's like finding out. Now listen, spoilers, everyone. If you're you might want to turn off for a second, but it's like finding out Santa Claus isn't real. To find out that your face.
Well, I'm just what if you just ruined it for some kid?
If any kid is listening to our show, we have ruined them long before this moment.
Okay, fair enough.
But yeah, it's like that when you finding out your parents aren't. There is. I understand what he's saying. There's a freedom in it or whatever, but there's also just a sadness in that your parents aren't these. I hope if we ever have children, I hope that our kids don't ever think oh, they're just people. You know what I mean? I want them to know that, we had a life before them and that, we also made mistakes and learned from our mistakes and all that kind of stuff too. But I don't want them to think oh, how pedestrian, I still want to be mom and dad, I don't know.
That's superhuman.
The ideal,
Well, hopefully.
Yeah, we'll see.
So, Jen is all healed now and feeling better about herself because it wasn't her, it was her mother that caused her to.
She's oh, this past year would have been so much easier. It's okay.
I don't think so.
I mean, I feel like she had to go through everything she went through. Yeah. But whatever.
I mean, at Thanksgiving, they go around the table at the dinner, and everybody says what they're thankful for, and
the mom leaves before she can say what she's thankful for.
Well, Jen says what she's thankful for, which was second chances and all this stuff, and that's
mending bridges you didn't think could be mended and shit like that. Yeah.
Scared her mom away. Yeah. But I don't know. I think she's very mature now.
And that's when when she ran away, that's when her mom told her finally about Eve. Like, hey, you've got a half-sister.
I don't think she even registered that part. She never talked about a sister. Like, I don't think she really... She's just like, oh, you fucked up like I did.
And that's my question is Eve ever coming back?
I don't know.
That's what I'm interested. I'm interested to see if Eve ever comes back and if the two of them share a scene together.
That would be interesting.
And if Jen and Eve and Dawson share a bed together.
That would be equally interesting.
Yes, it would be. So then what else is going on? There's that's the main thing. Like you said, Dawson's parents are we can do this one pretty quick, I guess. Dawson's parents are getting along and everything. And at the end of the meal, they're all having dessert and stuff. And there's all these first of all, this is fucking New England and it's November and they're having Thanksgiving outside.
Yeah.
This does not make any sense to me.
That's a very good point. I didn't think about that. It's cold as shit.
Right.
It's off the water even. You got the lake effect.
Exactly. Why isn't the ground not covered in snow? It just none of it makes sense to me. But they're all eating outside because it's actually California. And I hate when they do that in movies. Like there are so many movies that don't get that right. Like in the high school in Nightmare on Elm Street. Nightmare on Elm Street takes place in Springwood, Ohio. They're supposed to be in Ohio, right? And in the high school, they go from class to class, and they have those classes where it's like the doors outside, like the building's not enclosed. It's like where
it's like a mini mall,
sort of, yeah. And they go from like door to door class. We don't have that in the Midwest, guys. That's a California thing.
Because we need to be able to get from class to class if there's a foot of snow on the ground.
Exactly. It's too fucking cold and there's too much snow during the winter in the Midwest.
It also rains here.
Yeah, where Ohio is, where they don't have classes outside, outdoor access to classes like that. That's a California and Florida thing. So
lucky bastards, by the way.
But anyway, so they're all sitting at different tables, and Mr. and Mrs. Leary are at one table eating the pumpkin pie, and Dawson comes over and he's like, I love the references that they make too. He's like, you're like Rob and Laura Petrie. Like, yeah, I get Nick at Night exists and everything, but how many fucking 16-year-olds are referencing the Dick Van Dyke Show?
Yeah, I didn't get the reference.
It's the Dick Van Dyke Show.
So, I mean, I assumed it was something like Leave It to Beaver, but... Yeah,
I mean, Leave It to Beaver might have been even a better reference to make. Rob and Laura Petrie were happy, but I don't know. It's their marriage wasn't the point of that sitcom. So anyway, so he's talking and everything, and he's all pissed off, and he's like, "Look, tell me what the fuck's going on. Something's going on that affects me or whatever." And it's what the fuck, dude? If they're trying to reconcile, if they're trying to be friends or whatever, I get that it partially affects him, but also their individual relationship is none of his business, kind of too.
Agreed. And
the episode does this thing where it cuts away from conversations. It cuts away from Jen and her mom's conversation to this, and then cuts back to Jen and her mom's conversation. We never see the end of Dawson's conversation. He goes over and tells Joey, because Joey's asking about it. And he's like, yeah, they told me the divorce is final. That's why they're being friendly with each other?
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't.
No.
That you would think would make them separate more.
And she's like, so what'd you do? He's like, I really let him have it this time. I looked him both in the eye. And do you have a lazy eye? How did you do that at the same time? And he goes, and I said, congratulations.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's such a weirdo.
Yeah, she's like, good for you. That's supposed to be growth or something? I don't know. The relationship he has with his parents is ill-defined. I don't know.
Very weird.
I don't know how he's supposed to feel, really, to be honest with you. Or how they feel about him.
I mean, he's upset about their divorce. That's, obvious. So
yeah. He's kind of a whiny little asshole about it.
He really is. The other storylines we have Pacey.
Yeah.
He keeps referencing how he's got to go to his own Thanksgiving at his family's house and how he doesn't want to because it's awful.
Because he's got his own apartment now as a 16-year-old, remember, everyone?
I forgot about that. I wondered why he was talking about going to his parents' house like he didn't live there.
He doesn't.
He has his own apartment?
He does.
When did that happen?
And he still can't fuck Jen.
When did that happen?
A while ago. He was like, I'm getting my own fucking place or whatever, and he sold something or made money in some way. I don't remember exactly how, but
I mean, he has a job.
He was able to pay for a year in an apartment, and I don't remember exactly how.
Huh.
But there was something, like he sold something or like he came into money in some way or something like that where he was able to put it all down for 1 year in this apartment.
Why don't they do more at his apartment then? Like, these are teenagers. They'd be at his apartment all of the time.
Fuck yeah, they would. That's what I'm saying. Like, how is he not getting laid?
Yeah. But
if I looked like Joshua Jackson, I'd be getting laid in an apartment of my own at 16.
Looking like you'd be getting laid. What are you talking about?
I doubt that.
You got laid at 16. Anyway.
Let's continue.
He's upset that Andy and Jack show up because he was told that Andy and Jack were not going to be there, that they were having Thanksgiving with her dad.
But their dad is stuck in Chicago in a John Hughes movie.
So he almost leaves, and Jack's like, get over yourselves and stick it out. You know, it's not about you.
So they're starting to become friends, kind of? Like that's like the catalyst of them trying to be like friendly together. At the end of the episode where they're all sitting around a fire and everything, he's like, is anyone sitting here? And she goes, there is now.
And halfway through the episode, Andy's watching Joshua Jackson, Pacey, setting the table. And Joey comes up and she's like, it gets easier, you know. She's like, what? She's like, being in the same room with them. As though her relationship is comparable, and it's not.
Yeah.
Because Andy and Pacey were having sex and saying, I love you. It was a much more serious romantic relationship than the one she had with Dawson. Now, her and Dawson have all the history, you know, type friendship, whatever. I'm not saying their relationship's insignificant, but it's a different kind of relationship.
Agreed.
So I don't think that she should be weighing in as to how easy or hard it's going to be for Andy and Pacey to be around each other.
Yeah, she also was like, oh, you know, take it from me, I know how you feel. I've broken up with the same guy multiple times too, or whatever. And it's like, it's not the same. Like you said, because one, they really didn't have two relationships like her and Dawson did. They had a long relationship. She went to a mental institution. She cheated on him, came back and everything. She sort of manipulated him into having sex one more time, and then he was like, hey, we can't do this. They weren't in a relationship again.
No, there's very, very little commonality here.
Yeah, so I agree with you.
But whatever. I mean, Andy listens, and her and Pacey are trying to get along. So I guess it's just because it's a show, and they want everybody to get along so that it makes their writing easier.
Well, it's funny, too, because they even Dawson references it. He's like, hey, you know, it's been a long time since all of us have been on set. I mean, sitting in the same room at the same time and everything. And Jen's like, we'll be estranged again soon or whatever. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, true. I mean, it's the Thanksgiving episode. Everybody gets brought together.
Right. But, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
That's pretty much the gamut of everything.
Yeah, I guess so.
I thought it was an interesting episode.
It was very emotional. I got choked up a couple times watching Jen and her mom together. Yeah, I did.
Spoke to you?
Yeah, I don't know. It touched me a little bit. Yeah.
But that is the episode for the week. Here, I'll tell people where they can find their own creamed onions.
So you can write us at latefee1994@aol.com. Check out our website at www.retrolatefee.com.
Yep.
Share the tapes with your friends.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.